Hello, Boda. How you doing? Oh, sorry. And everyone hear me all right? And you guys hear me all right? Hello, 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 Vamp. Hello, Zach. Crystal clear. Okay. Again, I want to apologize for lack of content, but I've really been kind of. I finally got along. I finally got into Spider-Man, so I've been playing that like nonstop. And on top of that, I had to get yesterday. I had to get my oil changed, and then today I had to get my car registered, re-registered again. So that took a good portion of my morning. Um, I recorded a few things, but then I needed to try to edit it. But then I tried to get a few more hours into Spider-Man. And on top of that, I found out that RoboCop has been sent to my house, so I gotta get ready for that. And so I'm kind of bounced between three different games. So that's pretty much what's been going on. But what's been going on with you guys? You can go ahead and start throwing your questions at me if you like. But thoughts on SNL? I don't really watch SNL all that much. Like maybe once in a while they'll have like a good skit that'll appear popular online, and maybe I'll check it out. But I don't actively go out of my way to watch SNL. So, all right, we got a good group. All right, how's my day? Just had to register a car and try to film a few things, and still trying to come up with content ideas. So that's pretty much on my days. How's life treating you? A little, just trying to balance out between multiple different things at once. Gets kind of overwhelming. Had a chance to spend some time with my mom yesterday just to talk to her about a few things, but that's about it. Not much. That's pretty much been the casual period of this time of year for me. My last half an hour has been frustrating. Sorry to hear about that, Jackie boy. I hope it gets better by the rest of the day. How far have I gotten? I think Craven just showed up. Yeah, he just showed up and he broke out Mr. Negative and Scorpion, I think. That's as far as I've gotten. And that's been like trying to play it as much as possible, as much as I can, since I got my hands on the disc. So yeah, that's about as far as I've gotten. You think Claire and Rebecca know about Jill's whole mind control thing from Mario 5? I don't know, and I don't think it's their business. They don't run in those kind of circles, so I don't think it matters. Hey, what's up, Sean? How you doing? Favorite Resident Evil game is easily OG4. Not that question. What is my next video and when's it gonna come out? I think. Let me just double check. Like I'm really like I think it might be. I think it might be your. I think the next video I really have planned. I filmed was your top 10 PlayStation 2 games, and then there's Boda's top 10 or like it's like a top favorite PlayStation 3 games. Those are like the next two that I filmed today. It's just trying to find footage of each one. I wasn't sure whether I should just like because some for the PlayStation 2 games, I don't actually own my original copies of them. So that's really real the challenge has been. PlayStation 3 games that's easy. You beat Dead Space Remake and you thought it was awesome. Okay, well I'm glad you had fun with that, Sean. If Advent Children was a game instead of a movie, would I pay for it? It would. There's not enough content for that to have been a game. It might have been a DLC for like 15-20 bucks. But that's about it. But no, that a story as short as Advent Children, you really couldn't expand that to a full game. It's just not long enough. What is the most over the top fatality? I don't know. I don't know about over the top. I did two whole videos going over what I thought were the worst and what are the best ones, so it's impossible to say. I mean, Mortal Kombat's known for going over the top, so I don't know how you could narrow that to one singular fatality. That's kind of the point. That's kind of the gimmick of Mortal Kombat. You watched Predator Friday and you thought it was 10 out of 10. Okay, well I'm glad you had fun with that. Worst Resident Evil game that I've ever played? I would say Remake 4, but I kind of put that on the list of that's probably the worst Resident Evil game I'll never play. But in terms of Resident Evil games I have played, I would probably say the first, maybe the first or third one. Like that, I mean, that's how my experience of Resident Evil started out. I played 4, 5, and 6, and then I went back and I liked those games, and then I went back and then played 1, 2, and 3, and I didn't like those games. So out of the OG 1, 2, and 3, which one did I like the most? I probably didn't like the first one the most. Yeah, I thought that was just frustrating. So probably the very first Resident Evil game is probably the worst to me that I've played, but that's probably because I started out with a later generation than the OG generation. Uh, that's a good amount of playtime. That's where I stopped on my first playthrough. The original, of course. Did I make the Halloween request? Unfortunately, I just couldn't get around to it. I'm sorry, Sean. The PlayStation ones were easy to do. The Halloween one was really difficult. And now that Halloween's passed, I just don't see a point to do a Halloween video now. So I do apologize, but I do promise you, I have filmed your PlayStation video. That was filmed. I promise you, that has been filmed. With some luck, maybe I might get a time to edit it later today, and with some luck, I might get it up sometime tomorrow. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. You mentioned before you like historical documentaries. What are some of my favorites? Oh, um, geez. I have there's a series of documentaries called Line of Fire. That's a good one. Rise and Fall of the Spartans. That's a really old one. That's a good one. Watch. There's a History Channel one called Battles BC. I recommend you check that out. There's the Rise and Fall of Rome. That's a 16-part series. That one's really good. I also will watch anything involving World War II. So there's two History Channel ones called like World War II in HD and Vietnam in HD. Those are really good. There's also one on Netflix with the inner circle of Adolf Hitler. Really like that one. There's also a couple of World War II documentaries on Netflix. It's like key battles, greatest victories in World War II, and key battles in World War II. So stuff like that. I would say anything. Typically in World War II is something I kind of get myself drawn towards. I would say, just off the top of my head. Have I seen the F and AF movie yet? I don't even know what that is. Is that Fast and I don't even know what that is. uh, yeah, you heard Fast 9 is getting a remake? What? Oh, Final Fantasy 9. Is that true? I don't know. I'm not a fan of 9, so I wouldn't. If they are remaking it, I wouldn't care and I wouldn't pay attention to that. Have I seen the gameplay to Avatar Frontiers of Pandora? You looking forward to the game? No, Sean. I'm not a fan of Avatar. I saw the first Avatar once on a little 3 by 5 screen on a really old PC. I've never actually watched the Avatar on like a good TV. I didn't even watch the sequel, so I'm not into Avatar, so I'm not a fan. So I didn't really care much for that. You think Claire and Jill knew about Chris going missing, getting drunk? I don't know. I don't know at this point. Resident Evil characters are weird. Some talk to each other, some don't. I don't like at this point. I think it's irrelevant. Resident Evil Survivor is the worst. Perhaps, but I never played that one. How was my Hello Void? I think you're new. How was my Halloween? It wasn't. I worked. um, I was at work. Work was just another day, so that was how my Halloween was. Jackie Boy, wasn't 25% of Advent Children a big fight scene at the end, Cloud versus Kata? I wouldn't say 20%. I would say maybe more like 15%. There were other things that happened in there, but I think if you weren't a fan, you wouldn't care. And some of those fights I don't think were very all that significant. So, yeah. What are some of the worst games you've played off the top of my head? Really? Um, I'm only thinking about one, and that's Final Damnation 13. Like, it's been and maybe the last Wolfenstein game. Like, I'm very, 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 very careful not to play bad games. I try to get as much information on a game before I even play it. So it's hard to say what really, really, really bad games I play because it hasn't been many over, I would say, the last 10 years. It's very rare that I get caught off guard where I go into a game thinking it's going to be really good and ends up being really, really bad. I've gone into situations where I bought a game, I thought it was one thing, it ended up being something else. Best example I can think off the top of my head was like the last two Pokemon games, which was like Violet and Scarlet, because I was basing it off of my experience with Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond. Like I like those kind of Pokemon games, but like Scarlet and Violet was like a different type of Pokemon game, and that I didn't know that kind of going in, so I went into that blind thinking it was kind of the same thing as old school Pokemon games, and it wasn't. So I returned my copy of Scarlet and put it towards getting Hades. But yeah, I don't typically play bad games. I typically know what I'm getting myself into. Then Sephiroth, yeah. Thoughts on Grand Theft Auto games? They're okay, but I'm not the biggest fans of them. I haven't played all of them. I've played Vice City, Liberty City Stories. I've played San Andreas. I don't think I played four, but I know I played five. I only played those games like once, but like they're not. No, they're okay. But I don't think they're anything amazing. I've heard of that, but I don't think it's. Do you like Nightmare on Elm Street? It's okay, but I don't think I'm the biggest fan. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of Freddy Krueger, or Jason, or horror franchises. To be fair, I mean, I think the last actual horror movie I saw in theaters was like the last Jason movie, which came out like in 2008 or 9. But like, I don't actually go on my way to watch those kind of films. What if Chris Helmsworth played 007 next? I wouldn't care. Oh. Uh. Oh, well, this is a little embarrassing. Um. Just give you some information. Number one, not sure if you know this. You still watch your just to let you know you're live. And everyone's in the chat's laughing at me by now. You picked a really weird time to call. But you still watch your soap opera, right? Every now and then. Okay, well, I'm not sure if you know this, but you know the guy who plays Nicholas? Okay. He died yesterday. Okay, I'll have to look it up. Okay, and on top of that, did you want to cover the oil change? Because I went back to that place and I took care of it there. I mean, I could. I was just I wasn't sure if you were. That's what I was confused about. No, I cover it all the time. Okay, so you just want me to transfer it out of your account and that's it? Because everything else I took care of. What do you mean transfer it out of my account? Wait, no. So you're not covering it this time? I just need. Oh, what? Okay. Just want to make sure about that. Okay, that's about it. All right, talk to you later. Talk to you later. Bye. I'm real sorry about that. I swear, I get calls at the most awkward times. Have I seen the latest trailer to Napoleon? Yes, I have. I'm already gonna go see that. Don't worry. That's probably the last film I'll see this year. I'm big into history films. However, there are definitely some major historical inaccuracies, and there's a couple problems right off the back I have with that film, but we'll see what Ridley Scott does. Let's see if the film is good enough to overcome the initial issues I already have with the film. What woman do I think is Princess Peach? Wait, what? What woman do I think is Princess Peach or Princess Zelda? Rocket, that's not That's not a complete question. I don't understand. What woman? Oh, he took it down. He took it back. It's like what? uh, Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know what that is. I saw like a commercial about that somewhere on YouTube, and I saw a poster at a theater that I work close to, but I don't know what that is. So I don't know. Are you concerned about what Miles Morales might do to Mr. Negative if he gets his hands on him? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan of Miles in these games. I mean, that's like kind of one of the down points. Like right now, off the top of my head, I'm fairly certain by the time I'm done with this game, I'm probably gonna give it a 7.5 or an 8. This is not gonna get a 9 because I hate the way Peter looks, and getting around just isn't as fun as in the first game. And the combat's been modified a bit that it feels a bit strained. It's not like God of War where you literally you can play God of War 4, jump right into Ragnarok, and like your skills transfer over. It feels like a completely different game, and that's kind of been throwing me off for like the first few hours. So like by the time I'm done with it, it'll probably get a 7.5 or an 8. I'm pretty sure. And I've already seen the story. Like, I already watched the story all the way through. So I already know what happens. Like, once I knew I would never get this, I'm not, like, if I do get my review out, it's going to come out way later than when the reviews came out. So I knew I just had to watch the entire thing. So I know the story already. I already know what happens to Peter, how he gets the symbiote, how he gets it off, that you can play as Venom, how the final fight works. I already know all that. I know how the story goes. I know what happens with Norman. I know he's going to team up with Dr. Octopus at the end. I already know all that stuff. So I already know the story. Now it's just playing enough of the gameplay to kind of determine where I would place it. And so far, I don't think I'm not having anywhere near as much fun playing this game as in the first Spider-Man game. So I kind of have a feeling of where I'm going to put it. Leon should get over Ada already. I didn't know that was still a thing. Fair enough. My family doesn't celebrate most holidays as I did cook and sleep. Did you know the writers of Freddy Krueger made an adaptation of Phantom of the Opera? No, I did not. Are you planning on seeing the new Planet of the Apes film, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? I didn't know they were making another one. I thought we were done after War of the Planet of the Apes. I was not aware that they were doing another one. I bought Final Damnation 13 without any context, and it was too... Dude, you need to get your money back. How did you... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. You guys are trying to get me... You're trying to get me all emotional. If you could resurrect anyone from the dead, who would that be? Probably my dad. Probably. Your favorite Halo is Halo 3... Since you don't like Final FF7 Remake, you should call it Final Damnation. No, I'm not going to do that simply because I haven't played it. And it's kind of one of those things where if I played that game, it would dethrone Final Damnation. And I'm not willing to give... I don't like the idea. Like I've said this many times. Final Fantasy is a weird paradox position. You have OG Final Fantasy VII, which is the single most important video game I've ever played. You have Final Fantasy X, which is my favorite JRPG game of all time. You have Final Damnation 13, which is the worst video game I've ever played. And you have FF7 Remake, so-called remake, which is the worst video game I'll never play. But if I played that game, then it would supplant Final Damnation 13. And so now I have a weird thing of the most important game is tied to the worst video game I've ever played, and I'm not willing to give it that. I'm not willing to give it that title. I'm not willing to do that. Metal Gear ringtone, yes. Oh dear God, that reminds me. That reminds me too. I've also been trying to. I haven't even had time to play Metal Gear. Yeah. I haven't even had time. Like, crazy. Spider-Man is so goddamn big, I had to delete this before I'd even played it. Like, I just installed this like 2 nights ago when I got home at 2 in the morning. I installed it, but I was too tired to play it. And then Spider-Man came, and I tried to install it, and it was so damn big I had to delete it. So I haven't even had a chance to play this yet. So I have to try to replay Metal Gear while still playing Mortal Kombat 1 and making sure my skills are getting better while playing Spider-Man 2, and then RoboCop comes out, is gonna get to my house like in 2 days, and on top of that, Call of Duty comes out next week, along with Mario RPG, and like the week after that. And I'm just like, I have so many games and not enough time. That is a problem. So many games, not anywhere near enough time to play all of them. What is the funniest Final Fantasy moment in my opinion? Spooning, but the funniest moment? Probably the laugh in Final Fantasy X. That does make me laugh. Even though it's awkward, it's that's the point. What advice would you give mentally ill people? Get a doctor. Get professional help. That's what I would say. If you could ask God one question, what would you ask him? If I could, why does my life suck? That's the question I would ask. Jeez. Oh man, I got really behind. Okay, okay, okay. Guys. I need you to time out for the questions. Time out. Time out for the questions. So I'm way, 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 way far behind. So I want to answer the questions I have right now in order before I get overwhelmed here. Because like all of a sudden, like 20 more questions just popped up, and I'm trying to catch up. So yeah, and I'm trying to give like detailed answers instead of just trying to rapid fire them. So let's time out on the questions. I'll let you guys know when you can start sending them in again. Am I the only one who's heard a surprise sound effect on his phone? No. You dressed up as the T-800. Oh, that's pretty cool. Are you talking about like OG T-800 or like Terminator Genesis T-800? Do you hope heaven is also on the surface walking force, which is like Lord of the Rings? If heaven was real, that wouldn't be too bad. Hello, Red Guilty. How are you doing? Hello, Shadow Thesis Gamer. Welcome to the stream. Thoughts on the Cincinnati Reds? I don't know. I don't follow them, so I don't have an opinion. They should remake Chronicles Resident Evil games with over-the-shoulder gameplay. I would be fine with that. What time do you do these weekly live Q&As? They're typically Wednesdays at 3 p.m. and I try to do them for like 1 hour. I would do them longer, but like I have other things to do. And I'm trying to get back into streaming. So yeah. Sorry, it was a typo. I meant, what is one of the most which one's the most attractive between Zelda and Peach? Probably Peach, I guess. Since I don't really know that much about Zelda, I haven't played a Zelda game in 20 years. You think that Yubel and her deck might be able to stand up to duelists like Yugi? Probably not. Not at that period. Which animal species would I save? Elephants. Definitely elephants. Do you suffer from demons? If so, how do you overcome them? I don't. I just try to push through and just put them in the back of my mind. Toguro or Sensu? I guess Toguro, I guess? I'm not sure what that's from, but I'll just go with that. That's actually an interesting question, Zach. It depends on which deck Yugi is using. He does change it a lot. Without any crimes being committed, what kind of bioweapon would I create? I wouldn't create a bioweapon. I would not. Do I like Spider-Man or Wolverine better? Definitely Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man is my favorite solo Marvel character. What is my overall favorite Ridley Scott film? My favorite is Alien, Blade Runner, Gladiator, Black Hawk Down. Probably Gladiator. I'd say I'd go with that, with Black Hawk Down being a good second. Do you know how much Mark 23 costs? No, I do not. It's stupid, and Metal Gear Solid 5 didn't feature David Hayter, which was stupid. MGS5 sucks. Yeah, I agree. Since the final episode of Attack on Titan is airing this week, do you think you'll ever catch up on the series? Probably not. I don't know what's happened. I stopped watching Attack on Titan many years ago, so I don't know what's happened since then. I think I got past at the end of season 1 and then I stopped. If I were brave enough, would you go to hell and fight demons and close the portal that opened to Earth? Probably not. They're better. They're braver people than me. Hitman 2007 or Horrible Bosses. That's not a question. That's just two movies. But I don't get it. And I don't think I saw either one of those films. Is there anything in Metal Gear Solid that's out? Wait, what? Is there anything in Metal Gear Solid that outdoes the Shadow Moses mission to me? Yeah, Operation Snake Eater. Shadow Moses is cool, but there have been cooler places than that. Thoughts on the Sorrow from Metal Gear Solid? Well, the Sorrow was, he was a. I don't have much of an opinion on him since we don't really get to know much about him except he's Ocelot's father, and he gave his life for the boss. So that's all I can say. What are my expectations for Insomniac's Wolverine? That it'll be a great game. Did I see the MGS remake trailer? You liked it? I'm glad you like it. I will not be playing that game. What is my problem with Iron Man? I just think he's an asshole character, and he's just not likable. I don't like him. And he's an alcoholic too, dude, so come on. What do I think is the real reason Kojima had Sutherland replace Hayter? I don't know. That made no sense. There's a way they could have fixed that, but we'll never know. If I could go back in time and redo an accomplishment I made, what would that be and why? To redo an accomplishment? I would I guess, not sure if it's an accomplishment, but I think I would have told myself to start a YouTube channel sooner. And I would have taken some ideas that are popular now and would have started doing them before people started doing them a lot. I think that's about it. So instead of doing a YouTube channel in, say, like 2010, I probably would have started while I was in college in 2008. That's about it. 2023 is honestly shaping up to be the greatest lineup of games you've seen in years. Okay, I'm glad you feel that way. What Ghost Recon game have I played? Maybe the first one, maybe? I've only played like one Ghost Recon game from 2002, 2003 on the PlayStation 2, but I can't say I'm the biggest Ghost Recon fan, to be fair. Freddy Krueger or Neo from the Matrix? I don't even know how that works. Like, I'll be honest, Shadowhood. I don't even know how a fight like that would work. It's like Freddy Krueger's only powerful in the dream world, but does that include the Matrix? Since the Matrix is a simulated dream world, but it's in a computer. Does Neo, because he's the one, he technically has visions of the future. So, I really don't even know how that would play out. Your life doesn't suck, Brian. Oh, it sucks. It sucks big time. You have no idea how bad it is. I mean, I've seen people with worse lives, but my life is in a really shitty position right now. I mean, I'll give you some examples. Dude, I'm 33 years old, still living with my siblings after my dad's been dead for almost 7 years. I work 2 jobs, suffer from multiple different forms of depression, have been dealing with suicidal thoughts for at least the past 5 years, and have documented it over the course of, I'd say, about 4 different journals, just in case I officially do commit suicide, so I want people to understand what's going on in my head. I have also had to watch other people achieve things that I couldn't, and I find myself just overworked, and I have almost single-handedly engineered the very worst thing I tried not to while working 2 jobs. and needing to be dependent on it. And now my life's in a position where I actually don't make enough with one job that I've been at for almost 10 years to cover all my bills. So I'm stuck at this second job for a little bit more time. And the only reason I went on my vacations all over the course of this year was to kind of relieve my stress. But I may not be able to do that next year, so yeah. My life really, really sucks. And on top of that, because I'm working two jobs, I hardly have time to either stream, which I haven't done in almost a year. I haven't been able to go to the gym in almost a year, which is why I bought the pusher board so I can do that here. But heck, I really need to get back to a job, to a gym. And it's like I've put myself in a position where it's not allowed me to really progress in a happy way. And I don't even have time to talk, socialize, or meet new people. So yeah, my life is in a really bad spot. And it's kind of affected just my motivation for making content. Making content is like a lot harder now because of how little time I have. And trying to balance out between all these different things that I like to do. So yeah, no, my life sucks right now. Could it be worse? You're damn right it could be worse, but it's in a really bad spot right now. Someone actually mixed Titus and Yuna's laugh sequence into a whole OG. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Thanks, Anthony, for the nice words. Do I like Joe Biden? I don't really care about the presidency anymore. I haven't. I've never actually voted in an election. I didn't vote for anybody. I've never done that. I personally don't take the presidency serious anymore. I don't care who it is. Like as long as I don't care who's in the White House as long as they don't get us all nuked to hell. Like I don't care if Trump's in there. I don't care if Biden's in there. I don't care. I don't even know who's the vice president now. I don't even know who that is. It's some lady, and I don't even know her name. And I don't recall Obama did anything that had an effect on my life, so I can't really say much about him. But yeah, I don't have a very high opinion about the presidency. I really don't care. Hello, Black Lion. How you doing? Terminator 2 T800. Yeah, I was just being funny. Yeah, okay, yeah, I was pretty sure Tagoro was from Yu Yu Hakusho. I recently just rewatched that. But yeah, definitely Tagoro. I would definitely go with him. Why not Yubel's cards along with her evolved forms can't just be destroyed in battle? But you don't necessarily have to destroy them in battle, but you can just target the duelist, so yeah. There are three movies that I have that have there are three movies that have scared me. Aliens, Pumpkinhead, and The Predator. Wow, that's something. That's an interesting little collection. There are three games that have scared me. Hey, what do you know, Sean? Those are well, I would take the remake Dead Space out, but it would be Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2, and OG Resident Evil 4. So, wow, we have very similar experiences. Merrick Bakor or Kaiba, who is more of a D-bag? Probably Merrick. He was just a sadist. Kaiba's not so much an ass. He just he just holds himself to high standards, and Bakor was very forgettable. What character from a movie, TV show, video game, comic, etc. would you team up with in a buddy cop movie? I wouldn't. I can't think of any. I would not do on a buddy cop because I don't want to be a cop. Do you think Sadler is a good villain? Yeah, I thought he was a good villain. What book do you think everyone should read? Frederick. It's a book I read in middle school. It talked about this Jew living in Nazi Germany and him trying to do the best he can to adapt. And by the end, he ends up dying anyway because he's a Jew. But it kind of goes over his struggles. That book always kind of stuck out to me. Yet Leon and Chris did alcohol a lot in RE6 as well as Vendetta CGI films. Well, it apparently didn't stop their combat skills. Do you think a Batman versus Punisher concept would make sense to be made? No, would not. I mean, would Batman have a problem with the Punisher? Probably, but it's just like that's such a weird dynamic. Back, do Do you think you ever get nervous about the people's questions? No, I don't get nervous because I'm an open book. You guys can literally ask me anything. Like this is like therapy for me. Like if someone asks me a question, heck, I'll be honest. There's very little I can think of that I won't answer. Very little. I'm 30 years old. I work 2 jobs and think about self-deleting and live with my folks. We have a lot in common. Yeah, well, let's hope things get better for the both of us. Batman versus Predator already happened. I'm sure something like that would have happened in the comic books. I'm sure. That got dark. Well, you guys asked. What things need to change about America for it to be great again? When was it ever? I hate that. What? It depends on what you mean by great. What is your definition of great? That was old Trump's thing. Was like make America great again. What makes it great? How do you define that? At what point in your life was America ever great? At what point was America great at any point in its history? Every decade we're dealing with something else. In the 40s it was World War II. In the 50s, it was the Korean War. In the 60s and in the 70s, you had Vietnam. In the 80s, you had AIDS. You had drugs. In the 90s, you had you had urban problems. In the 2000s, you had terrorists. In 2010, you still had terrorists. 2020, we're dealing with all kinds of problems. At what point was this country ever exactly great? To whose standards? It's probably great for some people, but who is it great for? That's the question. Just because one person thinks that this is great for them doesn't mean it's great for someone else. So, that whole thing of making America great again made no sense because it may be great for, one person or a type of people, but it's not going to be great for everybody. So, that makes no sense. There's a YouTuber I watch named Seventh. Oh! Yeah, I'm subscribed. I know Seventh. Yeah, I watch him. Yeah, I watch him. I've been watching him for years. What music do I listen to? My favorite artist is Eminem, Green Day, Blink 182, Rage Against the Machine, Stone Temple, Pilot, Nirvana. I guess some artists I listen to. I guess Linkin Park, Disturbed, Red, Michael Jackson. There's a bunch of other artists, but I won't say what they are because I think that you guys wouldn't know who they are. So yeah, just to name a few. Since you like Yu Yu Hakusho, have you checked out Hunter x Hunter from the same author? No, I have not. You thought Bakura was forgettable? You crazy, dude! He was so forgettable. What are you talking about? Dude, what did he do in season 1? All he did was he got his ass kicked by Yugi, and then he beat up a weakened Pegasus. And then you go into season 2, and what did he do? He was in I've been thinking about, he was in the worst duel in Yu-Gi-Oh history, at least in my opinion. He was in the worst duel. And then he didn't do anything in season 3, and he didn't do anything in season 4, and then he was supposed to be the big baddie in season 5, and I was just I didn't take him seriously. And mind you, he was a minor villain because he was such a non-factor that they couldn't even, that whole final arc wasn't even a full season. They had to mix it with two insignificant seasons. Which tells you he probably wasn't all that great anyway. And then the way that he gets beat, him and Zork gets beat was kind of crazy. You just combine the 3 Egyptian god cards. I was okay. Dude, he's dude, what past he was perhaps the most threatening in season 1, but past that, I never took Bakura seriously. Have I played Persona games outside of 5? I've played 4 and 3. Yeah. Do I watch adult... What? Adult film? What the hell? Is that a movie? I thought it meant Adult Swim. I didn't... is Adult Swim still going? What? Is that Shadowhood? Is that a movie? I don't get it. We ask you anything, but you get triggered when we mention games you don't like. Heck, if you wanted me to get triggered, go ahead. Dude, there's only one game that triggers me. Anything else, I don't got a problem with it. You want to mention the Final Fantasy VII Remake? Heck, I'll talk about it, but I don't have anything positive to say. You want to bring up The Last of Us? Heck, I'll be honest about that, but like, outside of Final Damnation 13, there aren't really any games that trigger me like that. What games make you mad? Really, just Final Damnation 13. That's really the only thing that triggers me. I can't think of anything that really gets me pissed off, or I think shouldn't exist. That's about it, really. No, don't worry about it. There's no hating. It's like, I'm thinking, like, that's the only game that just the thought of it pisses me off. Everything else is just like, sort of whatever, because I know people like it. Like, I know people like Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that's perfectly fine. I know people like The Last of Us. That's fine. I know people like Final Damnation 13, as crazy as that may seem, but heck, that's perfectly fine. That's their opinion. Heck, I don't like them, so yeah. In Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, would you think that this is a strange dynamic? Chris Redfield and Spider-Man, or Iron Man and Dante? I don't play Marvel vs. Capcom, so I can't say. Which Capcom franchise do I prefer, Resident Evil or Devil May Cry? Ooh, that's tough. I gotta go with Devil May Cry. I personally think Devil May Cry is a lot easier to follow than Resident Evil. I think Resident Evil now is just, it's a little too all over the place for me. Dumbest thing I read, Sephiroth and Genesis got drunk and were basically doing drunken kung fu with their swords. No. that does sound pretty dumb, but no, they wouldn't do that. Yeah. Disturbed is my favorite band. Oh, that's cool. Why don't you ever show up to Seventh's live streams? It's probably, it might be because I'm working. That might be it. Like, when I'm at work, like, it's very, like, trust me, like I know he streams kind of often, but like, I just have so much to do. Let's see. Would you be open to see someone make videos showing non-super action heroes like Rambo, RoboCop, James Bond, Jason Bourne, John Wick, T-800 from 2 fight Nazis? Not really. Oh, adult films. Oh. Like, only when I'm really bored, but I'm too focused on gaming, to be fair. Like, it's been a while. I do have a funny story about that. There was something that happened to me when I was much younger about stuff like that, but like, I don't know, when I'm like really bored. But it's just like I'm trying to like that's like when I don't have like that's like when I don't have content to film and I don't have games to play. It's like, hey, if I'm really bored, maybe I'll pop something up, but it's typically some parody stuff. I will say this. I have seen some parodies that were better than actual film. I did actually see the Batman v Superman parody of that, and I actually thought it was better than the actual film, minus the sex. Like, take the sex out, just give me just normal scenes. That was better than the actual film itself. I am not joking. I can actually watch that stuff parody-wise without seeing the explicit content, and it's actually pretty good sometimes. It's actually really good. That was a good one. I like that. Have I seen Ted and Ted 2? I've seen Ted 1. I have not seen Ted 2 all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I know what happened in it, but I don't think I've actually sat down and watched Ted 2. You played a match against Joey Wheeler, player who tried to use effects on monsters that is immune to effects. Due to the fairness, that was a very Wheeler thing to do. Yeah, that's true. The game is very different now. You prefer Resident Evil since Resident Evil 4 is my favorite game of all time, and Devil May Cry 3 is my third. Okay, that's understandable. I just think the story's a little bit easier to follow in Devil May Cry. Which movies with great concepts but terrible writing would I fix to be amazing? A movie with a great concept but terrible writing. Oh, Damn, I really can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure I've seen some things like that where it was a good concept, it just didn't quite work. Favorite YouTuber? That's tough. I would say like my favorite YouTuber hasn't made a YouTube video in number of years. Um, so I would say Angry Joe is probably the most popular one that I watch consistently, but there's like a few other YouTubers that are like on my level that I watch their content. Like I watch like I put it like this way. If you get a chance, look at my look at the channels that are linked to mine, and there's like 5 channels. Those are the ones I watch the most. But like 2 of them aren't very active. So those are the ones I would say. Favorite song from Disturbed? Another Time. That's the song that sticks out to me the most. 10,000 Fists is my favorite. Oh, that's a good one. Why do Dante, Vass, Alucard, Vincent, Spawn all wear red cloaks and have guns? Because they're badasses, and people who wear red cloaks are cool. That's a cool look. Gaming over adult film? Absolutely. I mean, trust me. Look, adult films are cool and all, but like, I don't spend like, well, I'm gonna spend like what 10, 15 minutes watching 2 people screw, or am I gonna own a crazy ass adventure with a video game character killing and going and learning valuable lessons? I mean, after a while, it's the same thing over and over, and then you find out that it's like, as some, I'll even confess this, as someone who I'll openly confess this, which is crazy because we're just getting real personal, as someone who who lost his virginity earlier this year, honestly, I can tell you, those adult films don't help. It is completely over exaggerated. Every single element is exaggerated. The real thing is actually a lot more personal and therefore a lot more memorable. And actually quite life changing. In fact, I could even say, no, I'll stop right there. Maybe you guys don't want to know more details about what happened, but it was pretty positive. You almost got me. Which Devil May Cry game do I think has the best art direction? Ooh. Best art direction. I would actually go with 3. Actually, no, I take that back. I actually think I'd go with 4. I think if we're talking about just visually, artistic wise, I think 4. I think 4 is like aesthetically and stylely my favorite, just visually looking. I gotta go with 4. Not my favorite game in the series, but like just visually, I would go with 4. Yeah. Bullet Train. Yeah, I've seen Bullet Train. I think that might be like in my top 3 favorite Brad Pitt films of all time. That film was way better than I think it should have been. I think that might be underrated, but that's definitely like the best film Brad Pitt has been in like the last 10 years, like easily. Which movie and games are nowhere as amazing as your guilty pleasures? I'm not exactly sure. Wait, guilty pleasures? I don't even know how to answer that. What movie or games that are nowhere near as amazing? So, if I have a guilty pleasure, it's something I really like, and you want me to name something that's not as good as something that is a guilty pleasure, I don't know how to answer that. Because if it's not a guilty pleasure and I think less of it, then it's a bad movie or game. And I don't see or play those very often. So, have I seen Hellsing? No, I have not. Would you be a spirit and save people from suffering? No, I'm sure there's other people more qualified for that. Oh, geez, are we caught up? Oh, snap, we are caught up. Okay, this is great. Awesome. We're all caught up. And we got 10 more minutes. All right. 2 spirits become one when people make love, even casual encounters. Yeah, I can't argue with that. Yeah, that's pretty deep. Yeah, I like that. Would you be a vampire or a lichen? Oh, definitely a vampire. Mai versus Bandit Keith. Who's the better duelist and who cheats more? Well, obviously Bandit Keith cheats more, but I definitely think Mai's the better duelist. Overall, which overall game do I consider to be a guilty pleasure? I don't. That's hard. So it's a game that most people think is bad, but I enjoy it still. So that would be kind of the definition of a guilty pleasure. I don't know. Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Though I think it's a really good game, just it really kind of goes away from the assassin element pretty heavily. But I still think that was a very successful and great game. I'm not sure if many people call that a guilty pleasure, but I loved it. Am I getting the RoboCop game? Yes, it is on its way here, and I will play it. However, it does look rather cheap. So my expectations for that are not very high. Do you think Peter in Insomniac 2 would with the black suit is better than the one we saw in Spider-Man 3? No, I like the one in Spider-Man 3 more. Yeah. If you were to play a sport from another country, which would I play? Does soccer count? Or cricket count? Does that count? Do you think Mai and Bandit Keith should hook up? No. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Proud of you, day one subscriber. I appreciate that, man. Thanks. What is my favorite way to travel? Driving. I have flown. I've never been on a cruise ship. However, I thought about it. I'd like to go on a cruise ship once, but I've driven and I've flown, and I get scared of flying every time. So definitely driving. How much can I bench press? Jeez. It's been like over a year since I actually did bench presses, but I would say I'm sure by now I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I could still do like 115, 130, maybe 150 still. But again, I gotta really work out my arms. It's been a while. Why Bully Peter dance is so stupid? I love that dance. Oh my god, I love that. Oh god. I gotta say this. Speaking of that, I don't know. I saw this video. You guys gotta watch this. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it, but oh dear God, I love this. I saw this video online, and absolutely, I absolutely love it. I'm gonna show you guys. I do. I love this. I love this. I love Bully Peter. Like I'll show you guys this. That's how we will see it. I love this. Oh my god, I love that. I love that dance. I absolutely love it. I love that. That is one of my favorite scenes in that film. I know it's ridiculous, but it's gold. It's gold to me. Final Fantasy VIII, Resident Evil 5, Metal Gear Solid 4 are amazing games that get hated by many. Really? 4? Oh, well... Okay, I actually understand that, but I love 4. Did you watch Killers of the No, I did not. I did not go see that. Is Spider-Man 2 better than the previous 2 games? I don't think so. I don't think I'll like it by the time I'm done. Miles Morales felt like a DLC. But so far from what I've played, I no. I do not like to anywhere near as one. No, not no. It's not even close. I'm surprised Bandy Keith didn't flirt with my Duel's Kingdom. I don't think Bandy Keith is my type. Don't worry, I asked you this, but what's your favorite Martin Scorsese film? Goodfellas, maybe. I don't. Maybe I think. Would you be honored to weightlift with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Absolutely. Bully Peter's awesome. Yeah. Am I a good driver? You can do Uber. I would say I'm a good driver. I would not do Uber. Oh no, not here in Vegas. Ooh no. No, no, no. I would not. I've especially in this city. Oh no, I've heard too many. That's a big problem here about like drivers getting attacked and killed. That's a big problem here. Like I wouldn't put myself at risk. Absolutely not. How much time we got? Oh, we got like 4 minutes left. It's totally going from silly dance to hitting your girlfriend. Yeah, I like the dance. And Metal Gear Solid 4 does indeed have haters. Okay. Who is more of a jerk, Kaiba or Keith? Oh, definitely Keith. Kaiba, I understand. Keith is just a bully. Do you like the symbiote powers in Spider-Man 2? I haven't gotten that far yet. But I'm pretty sure they're not anywhere as powerful as Miles' powers are. Like, Miles is like OP as hell. Like Batman Arkham and currently Spider-Man games, which is amazing individual. Would you like to see next? I I'll be honest. I don't think you can. I don't really think you can make a game of that quality with characters like that. I think the closest we've had is maybe Captain America, but even that was like a poor man's Arkham Asylum. I thought it was okay, but it was definitely like copying Arkham Asylum like big time. Like it wasn't even trying to hide it. What are some things you could fix in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3? I would have casted someone else as Venom. I would have done Venom better. That's one thing I think could have been done better. I think Sandman, I thought he was fine. I thought Harry being the Goblin, his version of Goblin, I thought that was okay. But Venom, I think the symbiote story was fine, but I just once it got to Eddie, I think it just kind of fell apart for me personally. How is Miles OP as hell? Miles in Miles Morales was the single most powerful version of Spider-Man I've ever seen. Like, it is not even like he is so like put it like this. Playing as Miles in Miles Morales, he was so OP that the game wasn't fun. Like at least with Peter, like his powers are pretty standard, but like the extraness of his abilities come from his gadgets. So that kind of gave him like a Batman feel, which is something that made sense to me. But playing as Miles Morales, dear God, his powers are so OP. Like, Peter would get his ass handed to him 10 out of 10 times. I mean, look at how powerful he was in Across the Spider-Verse. He took out a whole army of Spider-Man and took them all out. Like they were nothing. Like Miles is like so OP, it's not even fun playing as him. And it's not even fun playing as him in this game. Like, I dread playing as... Like, I'm stuck in a part where I'm playing as Miles, and I dread playing as him. Like, oh my god, he's... Like I'm early on, so he's not as powerful, but I know that as I progress the game and he gets more of these powers, he's gonna be OP as hell. Like, that was, like, my biggest criticism about Miles Morales. It was like, he is literally the most powerful version of a Spider-Man character I've ever seen. Even the symbiote wouldn't stand a chance. In fact, that's what happens in the game. I already know what happens in the rest of the game. Like when you have to fight Peter, what spoiler alert, like you easily kick his ass. And this is like an enraged Peter. And like Miles just totally dominates him. It's ridiculous. Metal Gear Solid is the best. Hi, Phantom Sis. It's been a while. How you doing? Batman or Moon Knight? Definitely Batman. Do I like Deadpool? Yes, I do like Deadpool. Have I played Metal Gear Solid Master Collection? It's right here. I have not had a chance to play it yet. I'm balancing between like 4 to 5 different games right now. Like, I just installed this and I had to delete it before I could play it, just so I could play Spider-Man 2. Hey, TikTok, what's the worst Batman and Robin? What's worse, Batman and Robin or Superman 4? Definitely Superman 4. That was just a joke. Would I join Luke Skywalker to confront Darth Vader and Darth Sidious, and would I take down both Siths and only Sidious? No, I would let Lucas do his thing because he don't need me around. Miles is basically the typewriter of Spider-Man. What? What? Typewriter? Dude, he's got like so many powers, it's ridiculous. Like, dude, he's so OP that even Spider-Man 2099 is like, wouldn't stand a chance, which we've already seen. Typewriter is, oh yeah, type. Oh, I thought you were talking about like an actual typewriter. I thought, oh, but you're talking about like the typewriter from, yeah, that thing, like, that don't kill anything. Once you get that gun, like, dude, like, even bosses are a joke. Do you think Vladimir Putin is the modern day Adolf Hitler? No. No. From what I've seen, he's not that bad. What are my favorite Steelbooks? Too many to count. I have a whole collection of Steelbook games. Mace Windu versus Kyle Katarn. Damn, ooh, that's tough. I would like to lean more towards Kyle, personally. How much time we got? Okay, I'm gonna answer these last questions, but yeah, we gotta cut it here. Well, to be fair, Miles only won because of the bell, and Peter also had to fight with Kraven. Kraven probably didn't even be there. But yeah. All right, so I'm gonna cut it there. This one was fun. I'm gonna see if I can work on a couple more videos and get a couple more ideas and try to get them up as soon as I can. But I want to thank you guys for joining me. We will be sure to continue this next Wednesday around the same time. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you guys next week.